Let's see if we can't build a quick candle holder for this antique insulator today. I get started by tracing the piece that I'm going to use as the center support for the insulator to hold the cactus in place. So I trace around it, and then I go ahead and freehand out all the cactus paddles that I'm going to need, and a few extras that I'm going to go ahead and get started and cut out. Once I get everything drawn out, I go ahead and cut it out with the plasma cutter. This makes quick work of this type of project. I am able to cut everything and then go ahead and start cleaning it up. Using an angle grinder, I go ahead and clean up all the pieces on both sides and get them back down to bare metal. I use a magnet hooked to my table. This actually makes it easy to hold these pieces where they don't move around on me. I use a scrap piece of metal as a template guide just to kind of go ahead and hold the marker on and spin the pipe that I'm going to get to mark a line so it's the same height all the way around so it's easier to cut. I center this piece on the cactus paddles and then go ahead and tack weld it in place so I have everything ready to go so I'm not going to lose the position of where it needs to belong. After I get it tacked in place, I go ahead and use a 2x4 that has an indentation cut into it and a ball peen hammer to kind of start shaping the petals out and giving them a little bit of texture from the hammer marks. After I kind of have everything roughed in with the hammer and got the shape kind of where I'm happy with it, I'll go ahead back with the welder and start putting the marks for the spines of the cactus. While I add these marks with the welder, I turn the welder down really low and I move around from spot to spot so I don't end up burning through in any places. Once I have all the welding detail in place, I go ahead and set everything in place to make sure it's going to fit and begin bending the paddles upwards and getting them into the shape of the finished piece. I use a pair of pliers and go ahead and make some manual adjustments to some of the pieces to get them more the shape that I'd like, give them a little more free form to them. Then I begin welding on the additional paddles. To give this piece a little more detail, I go ahead and make some flowers for the top of the paddles. By using a couple of strips of metal, I go ahead and roll them into kind of a cone shape and flatten them out with the pliers and weld them to the top of each paddle. Once I have everything welded together and I'm happy with the look, I go ahead and adjust the rock base and make sure where I'm going to mount it. And so I have to add a spike to the bottom of the cactus that'll hold it onto the rock. So I go ahead and test it out, see where it's going to line up, and then weld a pin to the bottom of the cactus. Using a sanding block, I go ahead and sand down the outside of this rock. It kind of smooths up the stuff and takes off some of the buildup on the outside, so it's a little cleaner and smoother when it's a finished piece. I'm happy with how the cactus turned out. I use a little satin finish spray paint to clear coat it and give it a little protective finish. We got this simple candle holder built. Turned out really nice. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.